So if we go into KPI Center, this is probably one of my favorite tabs. My business partner, Melissa, would probably say I go into the weeds with this, and she'll say, give me the clip notes, Sarah, give me the clip notes, because I love to run through this system here. But if we go into the table view, then what we'll see is something that really blatantly obvious for me early on is there was a big discrepancy within the company. And as I was researching and understanding and pulling reports, we had a really big discrepancy between payments and revenue. And I just couldn't make sense of that initially. And so obviously I went on a fact-finding mission amongst the team. And come to find out, the policy and the procedure had always been that patients did not pay for their devices until 60 days in. So no money until 60 days, which my response was, we are not the Bank of Erie. We cannot do that. We need, for our cash flow situation, we need to change that. And that was an immediate change, which really helped us initially to stabilize our cash flow. So had it not been for this tool, I may not have caught that on right away. Another thing to consider is if we click on the TPA, we are in a really high area of third parties. Michigan is, I don't want to say the most because I don't know that for sure, but I would say one of the most heavily weighted for TPAs. My thought was TPAs have to make sense to keep doing them. So I need to understand how that works. And so something that became blatantly obvious again was there was a rather big discrepancy between TPA units versus TPA revenue. Now, I'm a firm believer if I'm going to ask my staff to get behind something and do something, we have to understand why. And it wasn't shared before for whatever reason in terms of the numbers of what was going on in the business. And I felt like, how do I direct without showing? When staff is saying, I'm working so hard, I'm seeing so many extra patients, and I'm saying, we're not seeing the revenue, to show them the factual numbers, the discrepancy between the two, that was really huge to be able to show them, yes, it's this percentage of units, but it's this percentage of revenue. We have to look at it differently. And so, maybe it's just a receiver, maybe it's just a dome, maybe we can't do that. We can't just give everything away because in essence, that's stealing from the business. I hate to be that dramatic about it, but it's true.